So hi everybody, I'm Marie Jenkins from Advance Your Wellbeing and welcome to our August speaking newsletter. So if you're new to our new watch, read or listen newsletter, then welcome. It's great that you've been able to join us. So just to give you some background, we launched this just over a month ago. And what we do in our newsletter is we share with you details about our fantastic season 2 podcast, The Secret Diary of Marie Jenkins 47 plus. We share with you our wellbeing topic of the month, which for August is mental health. So those people that know me will know that this is a topic very close to my heart. And also we share our 5 ways to wellbeing journey and what we've been up to over the course of the previous month, and also what we've got looking forward for August. So to start on the podcast first, so August, we've got a fantastic month coming up. We've got our business startup week, which is always the first Tuesday of the month at 12. And I'm going to be sharing with you my startup journey in the hope that it will inspire others to create their own business. So I'll be looking at the things that I have found really valuable, ideas for you if you're thinking of setting up your own business. So we hope you enjoy that episode. Then on to the second Tuesday of the month, we have our Education Week podcast. And that one is with Judy Gibbs. Now, for those people that live in Worcestershire, you will probably know Judy because she works for Worcestershire County Council and Worcestershire LEP, so the local enterprise partnership. And she's sharing her knowledge and expertise in what Worcestershire have been doing to support young people with their careers. So that's a fantastic listen. Then we have our Housing and Communities Week, and we're really super pleased because we've got Jim Nixon, who some of you may remember from season 1. He's from the Community Safety podcast. And basically, he's going to be returning, sharing his expertise in terms of housing and communities. So we're looking forward to him joining us for that. Then we've got super brilliant guests for our Wellbeing Week. So we've got Kathy Scott from Hands On at Work and also the author of Rubbing Shoulders with the Best. But we've got a super bonus edition with a guy called David Rogers, who is also an author of Fueled, Fit and Fired Up, but he's also created his own exciting business and he's now doing this full time. So hoping that everything's going fantastically well for David with his new enterprise startup. And basically he's there to help business owners take a more strategic view of their business. So as you can see, August is going to be a fantastic month for our podcast, so please tune in. If you want to look at our previous episodes, then you can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Anchor and Apple, so whichever is your podcast channel of preference. So go and take a listen. We've had some incredible guests in season 2 and we're delighted that many of our season 1 guests have also returned, as well as having some fantastic new guests. So on to this month. So August, as I mentioned, is going to be about mental health. Now, we have a number of animation videos on our YouTube channel, so please go and subscribe. And we have one on there about mental health awareness. Now, it's massively been in news and in media that mental health is a huge thing for our society. So by having more awareness about mental health and how it can affect others, can make us all more tolerant, more understanding, and have more empathy. So I'd say go and have a watch. It's a bite-sized animation video, but it will help you become more aware of the sort of things that you could consider when you're dealing or come across somebody who may have a mental health issue. So on the second Wednesday of every month, you can also read our blogs. Now, our blogs come out on the second Wednesday of the month, and that one in August is going to be on mental health. So put a note in your diary and take a listen. Now, the other thing I'd like to mention here is if you want to visit our website at www.advanceyourwellbeing.co.uk, you will find a huge catalogue of free resources, starting with our 5 Ways to Wellbeing booklet, which is the model that I used when I recovered from my poor mental health. And they're all accessible to download. So go and take a look at our website. There are all sorts of things on there, from health checks to looking at your values and beliefs, to looking at your childhood and your childhood experiences and how that might affect your ability to keep a positive mindset. So something in there that can help anyone at whatever stage they're at, or if they just want to maintain positive mental health. So we hope you find that useful. So on to today's 5 Ways to Wellbeing, our journey. So this month I've put keep learning and take notice, which are 2 elements of the 5 Ways to Wellbeing, together, because these fit nicely in together. Now, I'm a huge advocate for mindfulness, and I enjoy the benefits of gardening and growing your own as a practice to improve your well-being and your physical health. And it's also been fantastic for me to learn about the various ways of growing fruit and veg. And I've had a huge bumper crop of peas this year, which is phenomenal. But we've also been growing lettuce, we've had strawberries, green peppers, beetroot, herbs, carrots, which is the first time of growing those, so really chuffed with them, and potatoes. So we've also grown for the first time sprouts and broccoli. Now, what I'd say is if you're going to have a try at growing your own, there are different speeds in which you can harvest. So if you want to have instant results, something like lettuce would be fantastic to try as your first attempt. If you're more established and you've done this before and you're very patient, then it would be good to try sprouts and broccoli. Now, I planted sprouts and broccoli seeds probably over a year ago now, and I'm still in the process of being very patient, but I'm hoping in time for Christmas I will have my own sprout tree. So it's already growing, but I think it gives you sort of the opportunity to take notice, be mindful, and I'm always learning, so hence keep learning. So it is a new thing for me, gardening, although I've always enjoyed mowing my lawn, but growing my own, this is probably the 3rd year of trying it, and I've been adding and adding to it. And like I said, this year green peppers have come on fantastic. In fact, they're in my kitchen just here. But they're fantastic, so I'm hoping I'll share a picture on my Instagram when I'm ready to harvest them. Yeah, go and have a look at my Instagram. You'll see some pictures on there. So on to the 3rd element of the 5 Ways to Wellbeing, and for this element it's called connect. So July the 28th sees the start of the Commonwealth Games. In fact, when this goes out on Friday, the opening ceremony would have been last night. And it's fantastic because although I live in Worcestershire, Birmingham is literally across my road, and I've always sort of lived in this area, so it's fantastic that it's been held, the Commonwealth Games are being held in Birmingham, which is fantastic. So I just give a quick shout out as well. There's a couple of people I know that are going to be working at the Commonwealth Games. So Hilary Sims, who you may remember was on our Wellbeing Week a few weeks ago, she's been doing a number of shifts already with the Commonwealth Games. So I hope she continues to enjoy that experience of working within the Commonwealth Games. And also my old next door neighbour called Josh, he's also working selling merchandise for the Commonwealth Games. So if he hears this, good luck, Josh. I hope it goes well. Now, there are still some tickets. So if you're interested, you can go and take a look at the availability. I'm certainly looking forward to watching the mountain biking races, because it's also based in Cannock Chase, which is somewhere, if you're a mountain bike enthusiast, you'll know that is a fantastic place to go if you want to do some trails through the woods. So yeah, Cannock Chase is fantastic for mountain biking, so I'm really looking forward to watching that when that comes up. Also, just to give a shout out, Philip Fowler, who was one of my enterprising residents when I was at University of Worcester, also had the huge privilege of carrying the Queen's baton through Worcestershire just last week. So well done, Phil, fantastic effort. And also Deepak, who was also one of my lecturers at the University of Worcester, he also got to carry the Queen's baton recently too. So fantastic that I know two people that have had that huge privilege. So how fantastic, and what a brilliant way to celebrate for the Midlands. So fantastic. And hence why I've said it about being connected. You know, who knows who people know or what they're up to. So it's always good to reconnect. And that's how I found out that Phil was carrying the Queen's baton. So on to my next element of the 5 ways to well-being, and that is be active. Now, at the beginning of July, we went on our annual trip, on our annual holiday to the Lake District. Now, I've always been a big camper, and this is the 15th year of going to Coniston Hall, which is a bit of a campsite with a difference, I'd say. So if you go at a weekend, I'd say it has more of a festival feel, but in the week it's very calm and relaxing, and it's based right on to Coniston Water, which is just a stunning setting with the Grisdale Forest on the other side of the lake. And it's just such a beautiful part of the Lake District. It's got a lovely village. It's got their own brewery, if you're interested in that. It's also famous for its Donald Campbell. You may remember Donald Campbell, who was breaking the water speed record. So he drove his motor onto the lake in his boat called the Bluebird. And there's lots of history in that area. So there's also the Ruskin Museum, which is in the village, which is also worth a visit. Now, while we was there, we decided we would take our dog Bourbon up Old Man Coniston, which is one of the mountains in the Lake District, and it is an incredible walk. We followed the Jack Diamond path, which is easy enough to find. So if you drive into the village, there'll be signposts So you can go either in two directions. You can go up towards the copper mines, which is just behind the Ruskin Museum actually, or you can go further up over into the village, past the petrol station, take a right, and then you can drive up to a car park which will lead you to the Jack Diamond path. And then I'd say it's a good, 3-hour walk? And I was super chuffed because that is the first time my dog Bourbon managed to climb a mountain, and he's 8. So yeah, it was fantastic. And while we were there, we also visited Grisdale Forest and hired e-bikes from their bike hire centre. And a big shout out to the team there that was super helpful. And yeah, we enjoyed going around Grisdale Forest. There are trails there for mountain bikers. You can take your own bike, or there's cycles to hire from the hire shop for families, individuals, but they've got something for everyone. So for those people that are more adventurous, there's full suspension bikes to hire. And like we did, we hired a hardtail e-bike, which was a specialised bike actually, and it's the second time of trying those bikes, and it really was fantastic. Some of the trails there, super, what do they call them? They're like rock gardens, and if you've got an e-bike, it just gives you that additional confidence to have a go at the more challenging and fun trails. So yeah, in terms of being active, July was an active month for us. We've still continued to cycle every weekend through July, and we're looking forward to doing more of that in August. So on to the fifth element of 5 Ways to Wellbeing, and giving back. Now, many of you will know, and I've spoken about it a number of times, I'm an enterprise advisor as part of the Careers and Enterprise Company, which I'm super privileged to be involved in. And I'm the enterprise advisor for Ridgeway Academy in Redditch. And we've had a fantastic term at the school because we've got a whole new careers team. We've now got Helen Airdrie, who is now my careers coordinator, which is fantastic. But we've been doing lots of exciting new things in terms of work experience with pupils, careers fairs and things. So really well done to the team at Ridgeway. I think it's a fantastic new team, and I'm looking forward to them returning in September so we can do more for the following school year. But in July, I just wanted to give a shout out to a school called Bishop Perrone, which is just on the edge of Worcestershire. It's classed as Worcestershire actually, and it's a high school. And we was invited to go along and do some mock interviews with the pupils. Now, I was absolutely astonished with the pupils. They were super professional. They had a very clear focus about what they wanted from their careers. And it was just a fantastic opportunity for them to meet somebody outside of their school environment that was from a business environment that could talk to them about what sort of skills they might need, what sort of things have they given thoughts to. So it was a brilliant, brilliant day. And I'd just like to say well done to the staff at Bishop Perrone, because they did a fantastic job of organising all of us business professionals that were there on that day, as well as making sure that the pupils got to where they needed to be for their mock interview. So it was a real privilege as an enterprise advisor to go into the school, which is a new school to me. But just also to know, if you are in Worcestershire, or in fact anywhere in the UK, you can get involved as an enterprise advisor. Now, in Worcestershire specifically, they have some training coming up. I think it's on the 20th of September for people that are interested in becoming enterprise advisors. Now, what I'd say is, if you're a business and you're going to be looking at the future talent for your organisation, it could be a fantastic opportunity for you to get involved in this initiative, purely because you have a better idea of the sort of talent that you're going to need for your business in the future. So by going and speaking to pupils and finding out what they're looking for from their careers, it can help you shape your business, and it can help you prepare, if you like, for the future recruitment of your workforce. So if you're interested, you can either get in touch with me, or if you look at the Careers and Enterprise Company website online, you can find details about how you can get involved. But if it's specifically Worcestershire, give me a shout and I'll introduce you to the team. So in terms of giving back, that's what I've been doing, as well as my volunteering role at our local extra care gym each week. So then I'm going to just give you some newsflash information. So I have two sections what I talk about in news. One is housing news and the other one is the education news. So for housing news, I just wanted to say that yes, we know it's been on the telly a lot. We're going through a whole leadership change for our country. I just thought it was worth giving a mention that actually since 1997, we've had 20 new housing ministers. And I'm hoping whoever it is that's successful in the post, in the race for number 10, that they actually give some consideration to having a sustainable housing minister. And I was really interested to read an article recently in Inside Housing about this very topic. And it's an excellent read from a lady called Lucy Heath. So if you look for that, and it's titled How Housing Ministers Have Changed Over the Years and What's Going to Happen Next. So if you look for Lucy Heath's article in Inside Housing, you'll find it. But it's fascinating, and I think we can all come together and say we're hoping we're going to, once the leadership race has been decided, we will have a housing minister that can be sustainable, that can really sort of get into the role and stay in the role, more importantly, and make a difference to the demand, need and supply of social housing. So that was my housing news. Go and have a read of that article. Then on to education news. Now, as I've already mentioned there, that as an enterprise advisor, I attend termly meetings. And at our recent enterprise advisors meeting, I was reliably informed by Matt Tope, who is the head of CEC in Worcestershire, that there's going to be amendments to the skills bill as part of the Skills for Jobs white paper. Now, I've put some links if you want to go onto my LinkedIn, onto the readable format of this newsletter. You will find a number of links on that article whereby you can click and have a look at those amendments, because they are interesting and they will affect you because it will be new legislation. So if you're interested in Skills for Jobs and the Skills Bill, which if you're working in education, I'd say yes, you definitely are, then go and have a click on those links in my article. And I just wanted to also, as part of education news, give a huge shout out to a very talented young man that I've had the fortune to work with in July. So his name is Joe French. He is part of Inspiring Worcestershire. He works for the county council, but he's part of a bigger team. And basically, he invited me to get involved in his podcast, which is called Joe's Journeys. And basically, what happens is he asks me questions and about my career and what decisions I made. Were they right? Could I have made better choices? And those sort of things. And there's a huge array of videos that Joe French has done in this podcast in terms of different businesses, what their journeys were, interviews with careers leads, anything to do with careers and pupils development. So there's a fantastic array of videos on Jo's journey. So if you are on YouTube, if you look for Inspiring Worcestershire, you will find the huge resources available. So well done, Jo. I thought you did a fantastic job. Absolute superb host, and I thoroughly enjoyed being interviewed by you. So if you are interested and want to find out more, again, go and click on my LinkedIn newsletter and you will find the link so you can go straight to our interview. And then that's pretty much everything that I wanted to mention today, other than, and I know a few of you may already know, it's my 50th birthday month in August. Woohoo! I'm super excited because it's going to be a big one. I'm going to be 50. Now, some people that follow me on social media know, and also my friends and my people in my network know, that I've set myself a challenge to do something that pushes me out of my comfort zone every week throughout the whole of my 50th year. So every Friday I'm going to be doing something that will push me out of my comfort zone. Now, just to say, it's not necessarily going to be a huge thing. It might be something like eating a food that I've never tried before. They range massively. So one of the ladies that I speak to in our local PDSA charity shop, she loves cocktails, and she was saying about all these cocktails that sort of had smoke coming out of them and all these type of things. So anyway, she said, why don't we go for cocktails? So that's just one example. So we're going to do lots of different things. Some of them will be more fun than others, but it's just so that I'm trying something new and expanding my mind about opportunities. So thank you for those people that have got in touch that have said they'd love to do a challenge with me. There's a couple of people that I know have already lined up some activities for us, so I'm super excited for that. That will be fantastic fun. But it's all about pushing out of your comfort zone. And when you do, you learn how much more you're capable of. So super excited about that. So thank you for those people that have reached out to me about that 50th birthday year activities. But if you want to find out what I'm up to in terms of that, follow my Instagram, because every Friday what I'll do is I'll take some photos and share what sort of things I'm going to be getting up to. Who knows what's going to happen, but I'm super excited for that. So that's everything for August Speaking Museletter. I hope you've enjoyed it. If there's anything that you want to know about in more detail, I'll put all the links and things in descriptions. But yeah, reach out to us. Please share our newsletter on to other people that you feel might benefit from our health and wellbeing tips. So that's it for this time. If you want to contact me, my number 07583 474539, or drop me an email at marie.jenkins@advancedevents.co.uk. We hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you again in September. Have a great summer, guys. Thanks a lot. Bye.